Session 2, South American Civilization, 10,240 to 5,114 years ago. Just as from the Middle East, the Hebrew Bible records the story of creation of the cosmos, the creation of humans, and so forth in Genesis, so too does the Popul Vuh, the South and Mesoamerican equivalent literary collection of mythology. We can enter historical records of civilization in this region at approximately the same time as we can see earliest civilizations begin in the Middle East as well, some 10,500 to 7,000 years before now. However, besides the myths describing the historical archetypal characters in the narrative storyline intertwining the various epoch events, from the period prior to the earliest recorded history when the Popul Vuh was first written down, we have many fossil and stone artifacts describing several distinct cultural phases in the civilization of the South American continent. The Popul Vuh record begins after the world flood, in the modern era, but before that, besides the relics that remain, the Popul Vuh's content is merely conjecture. We begin with the earliest known signs of civilization in South America, in the modern nation of Peru. Here we see, from a distance of several hundred feet above the ground, one of the massive Nasca Lines, designed by assorting colored pebbles that stretch for hundreds of miles across the dry, windless desert. Some of these monumental geoglyphs take on configurations of unilinear illustrations in the style of primitive petroglyphs, like a zodiac of pre-alphabetic hieroglyphics. This single consecutive outline of a figure seems to show a monkey with a tail that becomes a spiral mirabilis several hundred feet in diameter. Again, seen from a height of several miles above ground, we can look down at this vast geoglyph traced in the desert stones, a unilinear silhouette of two hands, one with 5 fingers, the other with only 4. Hundreds of these types of geoglyphs are etched into the sand across hundreds of miles of the Nazca Plain. They depict all sorts of animal shapes as well as some rudimentary geometric figures, such as the line, the spiral, etc. Little is known about the people who carved these lines, or even when they were originally constructed. However, the remains of terracotta potsherds from the nearby area tell us some about the culture of the people who were, at the least, the Nasca Line's latest custodians. Here we see a vase shaped like a mushroom, painted with lizards, a regular bowl with geometric fish designs, a dual-stem vase with figurative birds, and a primitive pipe sculpted to look like a snake. The remains of the people themselves are preserved to this day by a process of desiccating and mummification performed on them at the time of their decease. The mummy we see here wears a patterned beaded headband over long, straight red hair. In the jungles of Peru to the northeast of the Nazca Desert, we find a strange collection of artifacts in the form of carvings on stone many modern archaeologists refuse to accept as authentic relics due to the impossibility of accurately dating their crafting, and due to the fact that they can be replicated using modern tools such as the Dremel. Regardless of their authenticity, however, the Ica stones are further shocking in the content of their art. As we can see in these few examples from among the hundreds thus far found in this area, they depict such absolute anachronisms it boggles the scientific mind. A man rides a pterodactyl flying dinosaur. A map of the globe showing South America connecting to Australia between Antarctica and South Africa. An artificial breathing apparatus for keeping a patient alive while performing open torso surgery. An anatomically accurate Triceratops quadruped dinosaur. Another map of the globe showing land masses surrounded by their suboceanic tectonic plates. a second example of two surgeons performing an open torso inspection. A man with a telescope looking up at a comet. However, even more difficult to explain than the anachronistic Ica stones are the elongated human skulls found throughout South and Mesoamerica, occurring in their highest abundance in the area around Ica in the jungles of Peru. Because there is no evidence in most of these of trephination, the surgical removal of a portion of the skull bones when young that expands the size of the cranial cavity with age, it is still widely believed by anthropologists this deformation was accomplished by tightly tying short wooden boards around the skull from a young age. The cultural purpose of this practice has since been lost to time. The first massively built structure in South America, so far as is known now, is at Tiwanaku in Peru. Here we see the three stelae at the center of the wide courtyard of the Temple of Viracocha at Tiwanaku. Placed facing the entrance to this slightly subterranean courtyard is the stele of Viracocha. At some distance behind this stele is an archway that was not apparently attached to any other structure. This is the gateway of Viracocha. Here we see the carving of him above the gateway, signifying him as a feathered serpent. The next sign of prehistoric civilization in South America is the high Andes mountain pass Incan city of Machu Pichu in Peru, displaying an advanced level of both architecture and its stepped agricultural terraces and its stone masonry in hewing, transporting, and fitting the stones of the city's walls, some of which weigh as much as 10 tons, the same size as the blocks comprising the Great Pyramid at Giza. Machu Picchu was built some 600 years ago, only shortly before the Spanish-European invasion of South America. However, it represents the Incan civilization indigenous to this area from before the origins of recorded history can account.